left, right.
Hello there. Thank you for joining this episode of SipTalk. Today, we're talking about NFTs. We're talking about Web 3.0. If you're not familiar with NFTs, well, you might be a little late. But Web 3.0, that's some new stuff to me. So listen on. You certainly learn a little bit more. And you will definitely finish listening to this podcast knowing the difference between Web 1.0, Web 2.0, and Web 3.0. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Throw some comments in there if you learned anything or if we missed anything. Remind us with some exclamation points. All right, see you on the other end.
This is SipTalk. Grab a drink and enjoy.
Of course, let's go.
Cheers.
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 Hey everybody, this is SipTalk episode 152. My name is Justin DiGiulio out of my basement in New Jersey, joined as always by James the Bosnator Boswell out of sunny Charleston, South Carolina. James is a philosopher, an accountant, professional referee, and a bartender. And today we have Yahya, Ahmed, crypto NFT expert. Not so great with changing the batteries on his smoke alarm, as
No.
we can hear the smoke alarm beeping in the background. So today we're talking about NFTs. We're going to talk about Web 3.0, which is something that was not on my radar until you sent me a text the other day, and then I started doing a little research. So I'm hoping you can shed some light for me and for some of the people listening and watching, because it's very new to me. So I imagine I'm not the only one.
What is Web 3.0?
Well, we're going to get there. In the meantime, we got to listen to Yahya's smoke detector beep obnoxiously frequently.
If it was only connected to the Wi-Fi, you could turn it off.
Do you have more than one smoke detector that's beeping right now?
No, it's just one. It's the one in the basement.
Oh, okay. Well, basement is a good place to have a smoke detector. There's got to be more than one.
Well, there's like 7 in the house.
Okay, yeah, the cadence there is pretty quick. So smoke detectors are mostly a pain in the ass. I've never had an experience where a smoke detector has helped me. I lit something on fire a couple of months ago in the garage, and I had like 6 smoke alarms stored in the garage, and they were all over the place, and there was just this obnoxious beeping. And I couldn't get it to stop. I was just tearing these things out, ripping batteries out left and right. So either way, sorry for the delay. If you guys are watching this live, we were delayed by a parakeet on the loose. Apparently, Yahya had a parakeet escape, and we had a slight delay. So, Yahya, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you know so much, how you know more than we do about the Web 3.0 and about some NFTs?
So honestly, obviously everybody knows crypto's got really big in the recent years. Everybody just hopping on the train. Crypto has been around for what, like in 2021, 12, 13 years now. And then last year, actually, no, this year, the whole boom happened with the NFTs. Not everybody talking about, hey, buy this, buy that, look at my NFT. And essentially, and some people are just like, why are some of these images selling for thousands and thousands, if not millions of dollars?
Maybe you want to explain what an NFT is for people who don't know.
Well, let's back it up. Let's back it up a little bit, and just can either one of you guys want to take a stab at explaining cryptocurrency in a very basic way?
James, you want to take that one?
I mean, I'm jaded on crypto, but cryptocurrency is, you've got a network of computers that are running a digital ledger of all the transactions that happen in the network. And every 15 minutes, the network will generate a new set of coins that are given to one computer that's connected to the network that guesses the correct answer to a math problem. And all the computers that are connected to the network are all simultaneously processing that both the transactions that are occurring in the network and verifying the network, and at the same time, the excess computing power is basically just being put towards guessing random numbers for the solution to a difficult math problem.
So effectively, that digital ledger is what's running that currency,
Mm-hmm.
and
which is on the blockchain.
And all the processing going on in the background are users that are getting paid to process that ledger, and they're being incentivized by a reward.
Right, which could be which was the first one was Bitcoin, and then others came out: Ethereum, Litecoin. Now you have meme coins like Dogecoin.
And you said, wait, you said they're mean coins?
Meme.
No,
as in they were like Dogecoin
meme.
was originally created as a joke.
Right, and then it just caught traction.
Okay, so the most popular digital currencies, Bitcoin being number one, I imagine Ethereum being number two, and people
It used
can
to
think
be Litecoin as number two.
and people can think of digital,
Ethereum is number two.
people can
Yeah,
think
but
of
Litecoin used to be number two.
I always thought it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and then there was a myriad of other coins that kind of came out after them that never got as much traction.
Litecoin is number three right now.
Not now. I'm saying as I was introduced to them.
Makes sense. Okay.
So, but for a long time, it was Bitcoin leading the way as kind of the strongest and most prevalent currency, kind of like the U.S. dollar or the euro.
Well, it still is, and it's the most recognized.
However, that digital ledger, the technology, basically the algorithm or the math problem that people are solving, what they're saying is that Ethereum is effectively a more secure system that offers its users more anonymity. Am I correct on that?
Well, and then we're gonna tie Ethereum into Web 3.0 later on once we get through all the basics.
We get through all the basics, but as the basics, cryptocurrencies are a digital ledger that a group of users are solving math problems, and they're incentivized to solve these problems by being paid a fraction of one of the coins.
Well, I don't think you should say there's a group of users solving a bunch of math problems. It's more like there's a bunch of computers that are that have enough computing power to figure out algorithms, and then if you have enough computing power, those algorithms are solving where the transactions are happening, and then they're recording it.
So when I say users, it's really software processing, or it's hardware and software processing.
It's basically very powerful computers solving those algorithms to when the transactions are happening for cryptocurrency, and these algorithms are being solved, and then whoever gets it gets rewarded for basically recording it on the ledger.
Yeah, but with Bitcoin as an example, the amount of processing power that's fed into the network far exceeds the amount of processing power necessary to efficiently process the transactions. You've got a huge amount of excess. And so you're getting into topics of network difficulty when it comes to releasing the next block of coins.
Right. Yeah, so no, go ahead, Justin.
But effectively, there are people that own the machines that are running the algorithms to solve the problems, and those people are rewarded in cryptocurrency. So when I said users, I should have said what's the word for the machine that's trying to crack the crypto?
Well, it's any kind of hardware. You can have CPUs, you can have GPUs, or you can have ASICs, which is application-specific integrated circuits. And ASICs are basically hardware that are designed only to be good at running a specific type of algorithm. So you can buy ASICs that are tuned to mine for any one of the main cryptocurrencies.
And mining.
Mining is but you can have like an ASIC for Bitcoin, and if you were to try and mine Litecoin off of a Bitcoin ASIC, it basically wouldn't work, because the hardware is designed specifically to be efficient in generating answers to the type of math problems and the type of algorithms specifically for one type of coin. So like if you were to plug an ASIC into your computer and trying to have it like run a video game or like run any other program besides a Bitcoin mining program, it wouldn't do anything.
Okay, so I think we have a basic understanding of what cryptocurrency is, or kind of how it works. And so it's basically a digital ledger that there's a lot of machines that are being incentivized to keep the ledger active and accurate. And people use that currency right now mostly as an investment vehicle, much more so as an investment vehicle than as an actual currency. That's why a lot of people have issues with this, because one, as an investment vehicle only, it's not really a currency. And as an investment vehicle, it's highly volatile, which makes even using it as a currency very difficult. And using it as an investment very difficult because it is highly volatile. For those of you guys who are watching us live on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, if you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat, or you can check out my Instagram profile, and the link in my Instagram profile, you can join and ask a question on audio. So you can jump on the Zoom session with us, audio only, and ask your question. All right. So in order to kind of explain how NFTs work and what Web 3.0 is, where do we go next? So we understand how and what a cryptocurrency is.
Yeah, I want to explain what an NFT is.
So NFT, I'm pretty sure like anybody who's listening to this, you've kind of basically heard about it in passing or whatever. It's basically called a non-fungible token, something that cannot be duplicated. Right now, and like it seems like NFTs are just these pictures of cartoons being sold online, like I said, for like thousands and thousands, if not millions of dollars, right? But essentially, what gives it so much value is because it can't be just pictures. It can be anything. You can have you can have pictures. You can have people are releasing their albums, new music albums as NFTs. You can have contracts. Literally anything that's on the internet, or like it can be an NFT, right? A movie.
Well, so like an NFT is kind of like a digital ownership rights, where if you buy the NFT, you have the rights to the use of that image or song or whatever.
Exactly. And because just like the cryptocurrencies, because they're on the blockchain, they're being recorded on this ledger. So whoever created it will always have ownership rights to it. They can backtrack it. It's going to be stored in their wallets and nobody else has it. So that's why they're so popular right now. It's
right. And I think like a key difference with NFTs versus cryptocurrency is like the word fungible. So like if you have Bitcoin, if I have Bitcoin and I have another Bitcoin,
right,
like these two are the same. If I have one Bitcoin and another Bitcoin, you can't tell the difference between the two. They're the same. Right. But with NFTs, like you've got a comb and you've got a can. And so like you can't like if I have one NFT and I have two NFTs, it's not like I can just trade them and be like they're the same thing now.
Because each item has a digital code that it can be traced to.
Right, they're all unique, and the NFT is associated with some piece of digital artwork or whatever. Whereas Bitcoin is not associated with anything. You can think about Bitcoin just like $10 bills. If I have a $10 bill and you have a $10 bill, and we exchange those $10 bills, nothing happened.
We should still have the same value and essentially the same piece of product.
Yeah, but if I have an NFT and you have an NFT and we trade them, now something's different because I've got a different piece of artwork than you do.
So to maybe help understand kind of why these are becoming prevalent is because of the uniqueness of them. But traditionally, if I was to send either of you a file, that file would be scanned by my computer, copied, uploaded into the system, and then you would receive that file. And there's not really a great way to track that and there's no how would you say
To track, like, to figure out, like, if it belongs to me or you.
yeah,
right? Is that what you're trying to say?
exactly. So what happens is with an NFT, it gets recorded on that digital what's the word I'm looking for?
Ledger.
It gets recorded as it enters the NFT world. It gets recorded on that digital ledger and
Just as FYI,
receives
digital ledger is blockchain.
exactly. So it gets recorded in the blockchain, which is
Mhm.
effectively a digital ledger. So as it enters the blockchain, it gets recorded and it has a unique identity. So as it moves around, that token, that NFT, is traceable through there. So when it first enters, that's the first ownership. And then that item can be transferred around the blockchain in exchange for whatever else, but it's traceable and it's unique.
Right. Okay.
So,
and also, because we're talking about the NFTs, and Web 3.0 and cryptocurrencies, we have to include the metaverse somewhere in this conversation.
I'd rather not.
Let's get there in a minute after we.
I want to say hi to Maria real quick.
After we establish, hello Maria. Hi Irma. So we got a few people here on Instagram. We'll say hi to. We got MJ, Christopher Hans, Coldwell Bank, Coco Chin Chin, Kara Burger, Shaylin, Jen. What's up, guys? And Pixie Girl over here on TikTok.
Yo, and if any of you guys have questions about anything that we're talking about, whether it's NFTs, crypto, whether you should buy into any of this kind of stuff, fire them off. We'll respond to your comments.
James is not a fan of cryptocurrency, so
no, I'm not.
Oh no, I want to hear this. Why not?
Well, we'll get there. So, yeah, do me a favor though. Can you just angle yourself down so your head is in the frame? Thank you. Perfect. All right. So then an NFT is effectively a token, and it's a unique token that enters the blockchain.
Right.
So I want a better understanding of how NFTs work. How are they created? Where are they created? How do you buy them? How do you sell them? At what point?
And also, why would you buy one?
We know why you'd make one is to sell it for cryptocurrency.
Well, you can sell it for dollars too.
Oh, I mean, initially you have to transact in cryptocurrency, and then you can take that cryptocurrency and then change that to dollars.
Okay,
you can't just do straight dollar transactions for NFTs.
Well, it has to enter. It has to enter the cryptoverse. So it needs to be recorded on that digital ledger. So it needs to.
Yeah, but these are all separate ledgers. Bitcoin's ledger is not on the same ledger as Litecoin or Ethereum or anything else. It's each one's separate.
Yeah, right. So they're built on different blockchains because not every crypto has the same purpose, right? Bitcoin is the only reason Bitcoin really has value is just because it was the first one to come out. That's that's the first thing to come out. It doesn't really have any usefulness to it, right? Where you look at something like Ethereum, Ethereum came out with a real purpose. You can build smart contracts on Ethereum. You can Web 3.0 is going to be based, kind of on Ethereum. So there's a lot of aspects that you can do with the technology of Ethereum. And then there's these other coins. There's coins that are going to be adapted into gaming, or there's going to be coins that are going to be adapted into the entertainment industry for like sports, music venues, whatever. So
really the utility of Bitcoin is limited to that of a currency.
Right. It was like the inception of the cryptocurrency. It's kind of like, it's the king of it. So that's why that's why I believe it really just holds that power and then holds that value.
What's a smart contract?
Okay, so smart contract. Smart contract is basically eliminating third parties, right? Let's say, Justin, you're a real estate broker. Let's say party A wants to buy John's house, and John will say, hey, as soon as I agree to buy this house, the contract sorry, as soon as John agrees to sell the house, party A will just say, agree, doesn't have to do anything. The contract's executed, wherever the price is determined, that gets determined. And then let's say, you're going to be like, how are you going to get the deed? The deed can be an NFT, right? It's going to be a digital ledger. The whatever crypto you decide on, let's say it's Ethereum, let's say it's 1,000 Ethereum, whatever that comes out to, that gets transferred to John, and then the deed, which could be an NFT, will get transferred to whoever's buying the house. So it really eliminates the process of having middlemen. Whenever,
so the deed gets uploaded into
the
this
blockchain.
ledger. So
Right.
my question for you really is, how does an NFT work? Meaning, how do you create an NFT? So how would you get that deed into the ledger?
So
let me maybe ask a more simpler question. How would you get a meme or a tweet or a piece of digital artwork into?
So right now, you can literally the biggest marketplace for NFTs right now is OpenSea.io. You can find domain names there. You can find just memes there. Like, or real just artwork there. Right, you could just go on their website, upload a picture, whatever it is, and you just create it. You got to connect your wallet where you have your cryptocurrency. And
you
then
upload a picture, so I can take a JPEG.
Yeah, exactly.
Upload it on there.
Right.
Now, who has ownership of that JPEG to begin with? If I take a screenshot of something, convert it to a JPEG, upload it on there, but it's someone else's picture, how does it become mine on that?
That's how it is. That's just how it's done. You can literally take a picture of anything you want and then just upload it. And like I said, with everything becoming easier, there's nothing really technical that you have to do anymore, where you have to learn how to build a blockchain first and then implement creating your own ledger, putting up JPEGs. Right now you can just go on a website, upload a picture, boom, you got an NFT.
Okay.
But then there's some NFTs where I don't know if you heard of CryptoPunks. They were how Bitcoin was really the first cryptocurrency. CryptoPunks are they're considered the Rolexes of the NFT world. They sell for millions and millions of dollars.
Wait, what is it that sells for millions of dollars?
It's called the CryptoPunk. It's just a pixelated picture.
So it's a picture of anything, but it's reduced to just larger pixels.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's basically like early graphics, early internet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just something to have. People, it's like the thing to have if you have an NFT. There's just some things out there which people don't understand, but once we get into the metaverse, they kind of come into fruition, I guess.
Interesting. Okay. So how would you go about buying an NFT? So you upload it to what's the website that you're suggesting? You're saying it's really the only place? I imagine it's the most prevalent.
Not the only place. It's the biggest marketplace.
Okay.
What's the name of it?
OpenSea.io.
OpenSea?
Yeah, like SEA.
Okay. So you log into this website.
You don't log in. You don't log in.
You go to the website.
You go to the website and you have to have a digital wallet where you're keeping your cryptocurrencies. Something, a really popular one is like a MetaMask wallet. You can download it on your computer. You can add a Chrome extension to it.
So MetaMask, is that like a Coinbase or a Kraken or a Binance?
No. Coinbase is an exchange where you can buy and sell currencies.
Okay.
Right. MetaMask is just a wallet where you just hold your any and all of your coins.
Okay. So that would be effectively like a physical wallet.
Right.
Okay. Whereas Kraken or Binance or Coinbase would be like your actual bank.
Yeah, where you go to buy these currencies.
Okay.
Or exchange them or whatever.
So that you can spend from your wallet.
Right.
but you can't exchange currency.
No, you can't exchange. No, you can't. You can transfer it. You can't exchange it, right? Like you can transfer it to different wallets. You can maybe get a trust wallet and then transfer it on there, but you can't exchange it on there.
What do you mean
Like,
exchange?
no, I'm saying you can like in a MetaMask, you can't exchange. Like, let's say I can't exchange like Bitcoin to or let's say Ethereum to any other cryptocurrency.
You can't interchange. You can't
interchange.
So
Right.
if you had cash, which in the crypto world is referred to as, what is cash referred to in the crypto world?
Cash. Are you talking about USDT, Tether? Tether.
Well, they actual money is referred to as something else in the crypto world.
I'm looking.
Fiat.
Okay. So you
Well,
can't
that's also
turn
in the real world. That's not just the crypto world.
Okay.
Well,
no.
fiat currency just means any currency that doesn't have a physical asset backing it.
Right.
So, but if you wanted to get US dollars into crypto coins, you couldn't do it through a wallet. You would need to do it through an exchange.
Right.
Okay.
Or unless you're a miner.
Of course. Okay. So you sign into this OpenSea and you link your wallet.
Right.
Okay. And then you browse NFTs.
You browse NFTs. You can buy one. If you have anything, you can sell them.
So it's like eBay for NFTs.
I guess.
Link to your PayPal
Amazon
account.
It's linked to your PayPal
Well,
account.
it's easier to sell things on eBay than it is Amazon.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's essentially just a marketplace for NFTs.
Sorry, I'm a little older than you are, so eBay is like closer to my core than Amazon is. So and then of course you would link your eBay to PayPal.
Right, exactly.
And it's difficult to get cash into PayPal, although now you can draw from your actual bank. But
right.
But that would be like putting money into the exchange and then sending it from the exchange into your wallet that's linked to the OpenSea.
Correct.
Okay.
And then every time you disconnect your wallet, you're essentially just logged out.
Okay, so interesting. I'm definitely going to have to play around with this OpenSea thing, and I will try to in my mind, because from what we're talking about, I'm understanding it like an eBay type marketplace where you can upload digital items,
right,
digital files, and people can buy them, and you can also buy digital files. How are those digital files stored? Because we know they're logged into the currency, they're logged into the digital ledger, they're logged into the blockchain, excuse me. But what do you once you drop 450 grand on a picture of some dictator, what are you going to do with this?
I mean, that question is just up to the person who bought it, right? What do you do with real artwork? You hang it up and you show it to people.
Okay, so how are you showing people your crypto NFT?
You can still list it on like your pages, like, hey, this is what I have, whatever, blah blah. You can still put it up for sale on the exchanges, so then it will show up like, hey, this one is for sale. You can go to other people's pages. People have pages on there, just like profiles, and then they can showcase their collection of NFTs that they have.
So it's basically a platform in the clouds.
Where you
can own things and show them.
Right.
And right now there's not much more that you can do other than show them off, buy and sell.
Right, pretty much.
Okay.
But here's a cool thing about NFTs, right? So I don't know, just throw out a random game that you used to play when you were a kid, or a game
How about Mario Brothers? The original
Mario Brothers. Okay, cool. Mario Brothers. So you know how right now, let's say you have a game, you buy all these upgrades in a game, and then you delete the game, whatever the case may be, all your files get lost. So what the gaming industry is trying to do right now is trying to integrate itself with like the NFT market. So let's say you buy a sword in Zelda, right? And you really like that sword. If it's an NFT, the makers of the game don't own that product, own that sword that you bought in Zelda. Essentially, you own
it now belongs to you.
It now belongs to me. Now I can, and then if there's mashups with other games, you can take that sword and bring it into another game, and it's always going to be yours. And that's why, right now people are just seeing it as, oh, it's just a picture, whatever, blah blah. But there's so much more other use cases for it, where literally anything that's online is gonna belong to you and not whoever controls the website or the game.
Okay. So I think
that you're in.
I think now that you're talking about video games, now is a really good time for us to explain what Web 3.0 is. And I've done a little bit of research, but I want to first set the stage by explaining what Web 2.0 is relative to Web 1.0. So we're in a transition period now already from Web 2.0 into Web 3.0.
Yeah.
Web 3.0 is not going to look much like Web 2.0, just like Web 2.0 is very discernible from Web 1.0. So when you think of Web 1.0, think of the original websites, which were static information, meaning somebody created that website, they uploaded graphics, they uploaded some written content.
A news article.
So a news website that's strictly news alone is Web 1.0. It's static content. You can visit it. You can read it.
All right, here's a good example, right? Web 1.0, I would have to know, like, hey, I'm going to go on Justin's ABC website to find out what listings that he has. And it's just essentially going to be, oh, Justin has this, and this, and that's it. You can't interact with it.
It may give you my phone number, but you'd have to call me outside of the internet.
Exactly. You would have to unplug your internet, put in on your phone, and then call you.
So can I play a quick video for you guys?
Yeah.
Because I think now I probably earlier would have been a good time to share it. But as we speculate what NFTs are, James, I think you'll appreciate this. You've probably seen this video already.
I'm looking at OpenSea right now. I'm just looking at and I honestly don't understand a lot of what I'm looking at.
I know that you're not with us, so that's why.
Well, no, I'm paying attention to what you're saying, but I'm also I'm looking at this NFT website and trying to make sense of it, and I just can't.
That's probably because you're half listening to us and half reading. So what I want to get at though is I'm gonna share a video that's roughly, let's see, almost 3 decades old now, and listen to how they're talking about the internet. And I think that if we were to look at how we're talking about Web 3.0, NFTs, and cryptocurrency, our conversation now is going to have a similar ring to it 25 years from now.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but anybody who's watching live on TikTok or Instagram should be able to see it. So I'll play full volume here.
56 pence, I wasn't prepared to translate that as I was doing that little T's. Oh, that little mark with the A and then the ring around it. At. See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about. Yeah. Oh. But I'd never heard it. I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC. See, there it is. Violence at NBC. GE.com. I mean.
Well, Allison should know.
What is internet anyway?
Internet is the massive computer network, the one that's becoming really big now.
What do you mean? That's big. How does one? What do you write to it like mail?
No, a lot of people use it and communicate with. I guess they can communicate with NBC writers and producers. Allison, can you explain what internet is?
No, she can't say anything in 10 seconds or less.
Allison will be in the studio shortly.
What is it?
What does it mean?
It's a giant computer network made up of started from. Oh, I thought you were going to tell us what this was.
It's like a computer billboard.
It's not. It's a computer billboard, but it's nationwide. It's several universities and everything all joined together.
Right.
And others can access it.
Right.
And it's getting bigger and bigger.
It came in really handy during the quake. A lot of people, that's how they were communicating out to tell family and loved ones they were okay because all the phone lines were down.
I was telling Katie,
but you don't need that. You don't need a phone line to operate internet. No.
So they are completely clueless when it comes to understanding what the internet is. And,
Oh, yeah.
and at that time, you did need a phone line in 99% of the time to access the internet. So,
Yeah, unless you were on like a university campus where they had a T1 line.
yeah, and
it's
that's what I was
funny.
thinking of was a T1 line. But yeah, in most cases, you would need to have a phone line. So, but they sound completely clueless. Go ahead.
Yeah, can I bring it real? It's funny that you played this video. I was on TikTok the other day, and I just came across this video. It was Bill Gates talking to David Letterman, about the internet. I think it was like 1994. So it was Web 1.0, and then Bill Gates was trying to explain to him like, no, what the internet is, and Bill Gates said, well, think about this. You can listen to a baseball game. And then David Letterman goes, what, you don't have a radio? Right. And then Bill Gates is like, no, it's not like that. But what if you can record that baseball game and then listen to it later? And then David Letterman goes, well, don't you have like a tape recorder?
Yeah.
Right. So, and then from that, where like people were just like, oh, essentially it's just going to be something, where you can listen to baseball games and then record them to now where we're at.
Well, I think what you're getting at, just like when we were talking about Ethereum versus Bitcoin, is there's a lot of additional utility that's built into it that's not being used
Right.
yet. So
exactly.
and
also the 20-year conversation we're going to have when we're going to be like, yo, this is what we were talking about. Look at where we're at in 25 years.
Well, it was our understanding of it that just isn't fully formed. Like James is looking at this website saying, I'm confused. In 20 years, we'll have a much more in-depth understanding of it. So I want to talk about
because I was looking at that website and I was seeing like various pieces of art or whatever and the NFTs associated with it, and seeing some of them that were valued at like 50 or 60,000. And at best I could say that's kind of a cool picture, but I don't see why anybody would be paying $60,000 for them.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like at this point it's just for the sake of saying I own it. But right. So I want to talk about the difference. Web 1.0 static information. You go to someone's website they created and you can read information. Web 2.0 is much more interactive. So you can visit a website, you can download information, you can upload information, you can pay for things, you can buy things. Users can add content and information, think Instagram, think Facebook, but it has dynamic content. So the difference between Web 1.0, which is static read-only information, Web 2.0 is read and write, interact, and create type information.
Right.
Now,
what's Web 3 then?
Well, if you don't mind me taking a crack at this, because I'm trying to
go ahead. Absolutely.
It's my understanding that you have a better understanding of this. So I want to share with you what my understanding is. You can correct me as I go.
All right, get on with it.
All right. Okay. All right. So Web 3.0 is more of a database. So it works like a blockchain. It logs the world's information in a more reasonable way than Google does using the blockchain. And using AI, it can access information with better capability. So rather than just keywords and numbers, using AI, it's able to comprehend a little bit. Web 3.0 might have some more natural language processing for faster and more relevant results. It also might include the Internet of Things. So, for example, and that's why I say we're transferring into it. We're in between Web 2.0 and Web 3.0. Right now, where my watch goes off when the garage door opens or the oven's preheated, I get a notification.
Or your smart toaster tells you your bread is done.
Or my, basically.
I don't think it's gonna replace Web 2.0. I think they're gonna work side by side until the foreseeable future.
Well, but Web 2.0 didn't replace Web 1.0. Web 1.0 turned into Web 2.0.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
but there's lots of websites that still operate just as here's some content that you can look at.
Well, no, fair, but like they can optimize that website where it is, and they can completely change it to make it more interactive. Whereas in Web 1.0, even if they wanted to, they couldn't do it. Like that's just their choice to just leave it like that, Well,
what changed? What changed? How did Web 1.0 turn into Web 2.0?
I mean,
Hardware
it's
technology.
hardware technology. Essentially, also it connected the world, right? In Web 1.0, you couldn't FaceTime somebody across the world, right?
Well, there
And
just wasn't the hardware or the actual internet bandwidth to allow that. Like
that's
I remember when it took me 20 minutes to download a single song off Napster. And
right.
now you could like that same song would probably take me anywhere between 1 and 5 seconds to download
Okay,
today.
and then so I think because we're running out of time, the biggest thing about Web 3.0 is decentralization. Um, the Internet 2.0, when it first came out, the idea was everybody is gonna have a say in it, right? And then essentially what happened was the internet's still free, right? But there's a few companies that pretty much own it. Google, Amazon, Facebook, um, Twitter. They have all your data. They figure out what they can do with it. They can sell it. They can store it. That's how ads work. So you think you have control over stuff and ownership over stuff, but you really don't. Everything
So
is connected by everything goes to a server right now, right?
so
And that's where
whereas
everything is stored
exactly, whereas things will be logged in the blockchain
in
moving
Web
forward,
3.0.
and
Whatever
using
you no, go
well,
ahead.
so like we were talking about how Ethereum has greater utility because it basically has more options on it, whether you use them or not, than Bitcoin
Right,
does. Web
right,
2.0 was allowed through hardware technology, right? So hardware technology, meaning we had greater processing speeds, we had greater ability to process more
oops,
bandwidth. That's all right. But hardware basically provided the platform for software to grow into
right,
it.
right.
So Instagram couldn't have existed on a dial-up connection with low
No,
bandwidth.
no.
So what we're going to be doing with Web 3.0 is going to be enabled through blockchain technology and assigning digital tokens effectively to what we're transacting and what we're sharing and what we're consuming.
Right. It really just gives the power back to the people, because there's no
Oh, yeah, ducked out, but I bet we'll still hear his fire detector going off.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, then I guess this would be a good time for me to talk about why I'm not a believer in any of this stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
I just look at cryptocurrency in general, but Rosh is telling me to wait.
No, but I'm curious because
So I've moved from interested in crypto to actively mining crypto to being indifferent to now being actively opposed.
okay.
Because I don't think that it actually provides any value. Like the resources that are put into both the production of the hardware for cryptocurrency and the resources that are put into maintaining the network in terms of the processing power and electricity, I see that all as a waste.
Well, the
Like we could be using.
Wait, can I rebuttal that real quick?
Well, hang on.
So
Let's before you rebut what he says, let's flush out what James is saying. So the resources that are used to run blockchain technology, specifically the electricity consumed, and electricity is generated by burning fossil fuels. For those of
The
you that don't know
electricity
that,
consumed and also the silicon and hardware that's put into application specific chips that can't be used for anything else.
so James would like to upgrade his computer, but there's a shortage of chips for two reasons. One, shipping chips around the US is difficult. And two, the primary purchaser of said chips are people mining cryptocurrency.
right.
Okay. So what's your rebuttal to the fact that we're using an inordinate amount of resources?
So that's true for Bitcoin. That's not true for everything else, right? The
It's
reason
true
it
for
takes
any proof of work coin.
right, no, but the reason it's I know people always hear like, oh, we're using so much energy to mine Bitcoin or whatever, blah blah blah. So because Bitcoin has halving stages, right? There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin to ever exist. The last one's going to come out in 2150, right? So we're not even going to see the last one come out. We're gonna be dead. So that's
2050?
why 2150.
Oh,
2150. I was like, yeah, 2050. I'll probably still be alive then.
No, 2150, right? And then so Bitcoin came out in 2008, and 19 million of them are already in existence. The next 2 million are gonna take another 131 year 30 years to come out.
Yeah, because it's
128.
halving.
It's halving, right? But that's just Bitcoin. Whereas other cryptocurrencies, they don't.
hold
They
up,
have a lot.
on
They
that
have
note,
a lot
though,
more supply,
so just
where you
because
don't need to mine so much.
okay, but just because they're giving away less Bitcoin, or they're putting more Bitcoin, fewer Bitcoins into the market, doesn't mean that we're going to take our foot off the gas when it comes to mining.
Well, no, we're not, right? People are still going to do it, but we can still, we can leave Bitcoin behind. We don't have to keep using it, right? We can move on to other crypto. Let's say, in a year or two, when Ethereum's gas fee problems get solved, because they are working on the networks as we speak. It can take over the market cap. It can become the king. It can take over the market. Bitcoin might not be a thing in 50 years, where people just be like, it's kind of useless. We don't really need this anymore. But right now, it just still holds that power. So
I still look at it as you've got a certain level of processing power that's required to just maintain the network, in terms of here's the ledger and here's all the transactions that are happening every second, and we need processing power to acknowledge them and verify them.
Okay, but where is the network? The network is literally every computer in the world. You can't
Right, but what I'm saying is that the amount of processing power required to run the network and the amount of processing power being pushed through the network are orders of magnitude different. And that excess processing power and all those chips and hardware and electricity that are being used above the minimum, my argument is that's waste.
But I mean, I don't really think it's waste.
How is it not?
Well, I think I'm reading here that Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin alone, consumes around 91 terawatt hours of electricity annually, which is
So
more.
to put that into perspective, that's about the power consumption of the entire country of Argentina
Annually.
If you were to take all of the Bitcoin miners or whatever, Bitcoin mining uses up as much power as Argentina does, the entire country.
Which
right,
I think.
But then, I mean, also as the world is progressing, we are moving towards clean energy, right? So.
Right, but I'm still saying that even if we have clean energy, even if we had zero carbon energy, 100% of it,
right,
I'm still saying that we're wasting electricity. That electricity could be used for something other than cryptocurrency. Even if 100% of electricity is clean, that electricity could be used for other things that provide a direct benefit to people.
Well, you could have said that a while
but
back
then
about bandwidth.
Crypto can provide a direct benefit to people, right? More than half of the world's population doesn't have a bank account, but literally everywhere you go in the world, people have a cell phone, right? Let's say now if Bitcoin becomes, or cryptocurrency becomes widely accepted, like Venezuela is doing right now, and so it is going to help those people out that don't have access to banks, or banks are charging obscure amount of fees to keep your money. Banks can't fail, or they get bailed out. People don't have trust in these central organizations anymore, and that's why people are looking for an alternative, right? Where essentially they get to keep what's theirs, and they don't have to, they're not held accountable by anybody else for what they own.
What about moving to a proof of stake instead of proof of work?
I mean, that's also
James, could you explain that so that someone listening to this understands?
So proof of work is going to be how much processing power you're contributing to the network determines how much reward you get. And
Right.
so the more processing power you put in, the more you get. And it's not it,
Well, back up. What are because not I'm paying attention and I know what you're talking about.
let me put it
But when
this
you
way.
say processing power, what are you processing?
So you're
So you
contributing
own
your
a,
processing power to the network. I've got a
you-
graphics card in my computer. If I were to choose to use my graphics card to mine Bitcoin, then my processor is going my graphics card is going to do two things. One, it's going to contribute some amount towards verifying the transactions in the network, and the other amount is going to be guessing at random numbers, hoping to find the next random number that unlocks the next block of coins. Every block of coins is going to be released every 15 minutes, and there's going to be some unique hash associated with that. And once one computer in the network guesses that number correctly, that computer is rewarded the coins.
so that's what your processing power
And so
is doing.
proof of work is going to it basically, if I've got one graphics card guessing 10 million numbers a minute, and there's 20 quadrillion numbers to get there, it's going to take me a long time. If I've got 100 graphics cards trying to guess at that 1 in 20 quadrillion answer, well, I'm going to get there 100 times faster. So it's all about, and if I've got, and that's proof of work, is the more hardware you have working for the network, the higher probability you have of getting a piece of the next block of coins that are released.
And you're proposing
most people,
when you're proposing changing away from that, you think
proof of stake is going to be what percentage of the total coins in circulation do I own? And then I'm rewarded based on that.
But that doesn't sound like a very good system.
Well, it eliminates the waste problem that I've talked about, where the vast majority of power going into the Bitcoin network is not used to validate transactions and maintain the network. It's used to solve the next math problem to get the next block of coins.
Right, but as you go along, you can work on the technology where like no one knows who created Bitcoin. Like let's go on, first of all, let's just get that out of the way, right? No one knows who created Bitcoin, but something like an Ethereum, we know where it came from. We know who created it. We know we can see the exact technology behind it. We have people who are running the show. They can figure out ways to tweak the technology where it's not using as much power going on in the future. And then when it's widely being accepted, when it's widely accepted as payment, people will figure out this is what we need to do, so it does not turn into another Bitcoin where it's just wasting energy. So I mean that is being worked on, like as Ethereum 2.0 is being worked on right now, where because gas fees are so ridiculously high because of that use of power. And they are trying to fix that actively. So it's not just a thing where, if it happens once, it's going to keep happening.
Well, so that's my primary objection, is the waste of electricity, but it's also the building of application-specific chips that can only be used for a certain type of crypto mining, and they have no use outside of that. And those are and it's having a real-world effect right now in terms of computer chip availability for all sorts of consumer products, be it CPUs, GPUs, and also CPUs and GPUs that are used in things like cars or appliances. Yeah. And so because there is so much profit available in the cryptocurrency market right now, the people that make these application-specific chips are able to pay the factories that make the wafers more than what GM or Toyota would be willing to pay for the chips. So the manufacturers are following the money, and the money is coming from Bitcoin and all these other cryptos. And what I'm saying is those chips are being wasted. They could be used on something else that provides actual value to people instead of basically guessing at random numbers and very small percentage going towards actually processing the blockchain.
So guys, we're running a little low on time. So James, you shared that you're against it for a couple of different reasons: energy use and the use of the hardware that it takes to use the energy to verify the blockchain.
Yeah, two types of resources, in my view, are being wasted and could be better allocated to things that directly benefit people.
And plus, also my understanding is you don't like the volatility of the currency.
No, I don't care about that. Like, if you want to invest in something that's volatile, that's your decision. You can look at the charts and decide whether or not it's something you want to buy.
All right. So yeah. What in the remaining time that we have, what have we missed? What are some good take-home points that when thinking about NFTs and Web 3.0, what are some things that we need to be thinking about?
Ownership of what you have, really getting control back to basically everything in the world. Right now, whether it's money, somebody controls it. Whether it's the internet, somebody controls it. With cryptocurrency and Web 3.0, you as a user will have true ownership of whatever you put out there, and with everything being digital now, the metaverse is coming out. So physical things, everything's going to be digital. So, and you need to have control over it. You can't give it to the same people that have had control over it for the past 50, 60, 70 years.
Well, not everything's going to be digital, but a vast majority of what we deal with in daily life will be digitized.
Right.
And having control over it and ownership of certain items in that on that plane of existence, whether it's
right.
whatever blockchain platform it is, will become increasingly important over our lifetime. And that includes ownership of who you are. So something else about Web 3.0 is that as you travel across the internet, you carry with you your identity.
Exactly. Yep.
Right. So with Web 1.0, you didn't really have much of an identity when you were viewing a web page. Web 2.0, you do have an identity, but Web 3.0, you'll be able to carry that identity across platforms. So on Facebook, you're your username on Facebook. On Google, you're your username on Google, et cetera, et cetera. My understanding with Web 3.0 is you'll also be able to carry your digital identity. You'll have a unique token that belongs to you, and you can carry it in whichever way you'd want and apply it in whichever way you'd want across platforms, which gives you actually additional privacy because you can travel to different platforms and websites and control how much of your personal information is released.
Right. And then all that information, whatever you put out, is going to be in your digital wallet, which only you have access to.
What if you lose the key for your wallet?
Oh, then you're fucked.
And you really are. I think that's the actual truth of the matter is if you lose the key to your wallet, you are truly fucked. So there are no pink slips on cars. There are no car titles. If you have the key and if you lose the key, the car is gone.
Throughout the past few years, I've made so many wallets for just different things. I have one now. I don't even know where the rest of them are because I can't remember the passwords. I can't remember, and then I can't remember the codes. So I'm just like, yeah, it's gone forever.
Yeah, that's a major problem, especially when it comes to locally stored wallets where people keep a wallet on a hard drive or something. Like if you lose the hard drive, it's gone.
Right, exactly.
That's very scary. That's very scary, especially considering you could have the vast majority of your wealth tied up in Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or Dogecoin or Ripple or any of these other coins. Definitely, I'd love to have another conversation about a better way to demonstrate people how to enter the crypto market. And
that's a good idea.
Maybe a bit of a more hands-on demonstration in how to enter the NFT market. But I got a little learning to do. I think this was a pretty cool conversation. I feel like I learned a lot just about Web 3.0 and NFTs in the research that I did and then able to explore that research in this conversation. So I want to thank you guys for that. I definitely don't think anyone has won James over on cryptocurrency.
They all
Yes.
come around.
No,
So-
no, I've moved the opposite direction. 7 years ago, I was a believer in it. Now I'm not.
So, but either
man.
way,
Even the banks have come on board now. Even they're like, yo, we're not missing the train anymore.
all right, quick. Yeah. If somebody has a question for you, how can they reach you?
Shit. You can give them my Instagram.
All right. What's your Instagram?
Yeah, Ahmed official.
Yahya Ahmed official. So if you guys have crypto questions, reach out to Yahya at Yahya Ahmed official. James is.
You might
on
want to post his Instagram in the YouTube in the YouTube description or something.
James is on Twitter. Get off my lawn 204. I want to thank you guys and thanks to Rosh Galeb for many of the comments. Catch you guys next time. Thank you very much.
Cheers, gents.
James buying NFT.
No.
Adios.
All right. Take care.
All right, that concludes this episode of SipTalk. Thank you for joining. I hope you learned something. If you did, throw us a thumbs up. Give us a little like. And if you don't mind, we would greatly appreciate you sharing, you commenting, you subscribing. Any interaction helps us. And thanks for that. So see you guys next time.
I like PBR. I just got priced out of it.